So this is where we've got some graph paper and we're going to kind of sketch these things out. So first we're going to look at a cube. And we can take that three-dimensional shape. Remember that what goes inside the shape is the volume. The outside, the material that makes it up, is your surface area. So if we have a cube like this, we can actually flatten it out into a two-dimensional net. And this is the surface area. So we're going to sketch out our own here to kind of make some comparisons between the different shapes. So if we notice, we've got 4 squares going across, and then we've got our bases, one on the top, one on the bottom. So on my graph paper, I'm going to leave some space on top, and I'm going to have a square that's a 3 by 3. So first, I've got my 3 by 3 square, but again, we need 4 going across. So I'm going to draw 3 more of those connected. Another 3 by 3. Another 3 by 3, and one more 3 by 3. And then the last part is we need to connect those bases, one on the top, one on the bottom. Technically, it doesn't matter where we connect it for the cube. I like to always connect it to that second lateral side there. So right on top of this second one, I'm going to connect a 3 by 3 square on the top and a 3 by 3 square on the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out. Okay, so we have our net here, which if you really want to test to see if it works, you could fold each side where the lines are. And you would then see that if you did fold it together, it would form a little cube. What we are going to do is we're actually going to glue it down on here. So I'm going to glue it down. There. And now what we really are trying to compare is we're trying to compare like what do the side measures look like. Since it's a cube, all the sides are the same, so I'm going to highlight the congruent side. So this side is congruent to this side, and this side, and this side, and this side. This side is congruent to this side, and to this side, and to this side, and this side. And this one, this one, this one. The sides are congruent up here as well as down here. So all of the sides here are congruent. So if I was trying to find the surface here, if I really look at this, a cube has 6 of these faces. So it has 6 congruent sides. So if I was trying to find the surface area, I could really find the area of one of those squares and multiply it by 6 because they are all the same. Now let's look at a rectangular prism. So again, I'm going to get out my graph paper and we're going to kind of sketch it out. A rectangular prism should be similar to a cube. It should have 4 sides going across and the top and bottom there, but it's just not going to all be congruent sides. So I am, again, going to leave a little bit of space up here. And then I'm going to draw a square, or not a square, sorry, rectangle that has a height of 6 and a base of 2. Next to that, I'm not going to draw another 2 by 6, it's going to be a 4 by 6. So it's still going to have that same height of 6, but this time it's going to have a base of 4. Next to this one, I'm going to draw another 2 by 6, so base of 2, height of 6. And next to that one, another base of 4, height of 6. So those are my 4 sides going across, my 4 lateral sides, but I need a base, one on the top, one on the bottom. So I need to be able to connect these two sides here. We've got a 2 and a 4. Just like I did for the cube, I'm going to connect it to this second side here. So it's going to have that same base there of 4, but it's going to have a height of 2. And it's going to be the same thing on the top. So I had a base of 4, height of 2 on the bottom, base of 4, height of 2 on the top. And I'm going to cut this guy up. And then just like before, if you want to see if you can fold it up and turn it into rectangular prism, you can. I'm just going to go ahead and glue it on here as our net. So just like we did before, I'm going to go ahead and highlight the sides that are congruent. We're going to think about what we know about rectangles here. So, we have this height of 6, which this side across here is going to also be 6, as is this side, and this side. So those are all congruent to each other. Well, here I have a base of 2. Well, the opposite side is also 2. This one here is 2. The opposite side is 2. But also, this right here is 2, because those two kind of connect to each other. And is this. They connect there, and same thing on the top. And then the last side measure is the 4. Well, if this is 4, the bottom here is 4, and up here on the top is going to be 4. And then we also have it here. So there's really 3 different side measures there. Then, if we're thinking about what makes the net of a rectangular prism, we want to think about comparing the bases and the lateral sides. As we said, every single prism has 2 bases. And since this was a rectangular prism, it has 2 rectangular bases. Then our lateral sides, the 4 sides going across. It has 4 lateral sides because it's a rectangular prism which has 4 sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And the shape of those are rectangular because, as we said, all prisms have rectangular lateral sides. Last one we're going to look at is the triangular prism. So, again, I'm going to leave a little bit of room on top. And I'm going to draw, again, with a height of 6 and a base of 3. Height of 6, base of 3. Next one, I'm going to do a base of 4, still height of 6. And the last one I'm going to do is a base of 5 and still the height of 6. So now I got to connect my bases. It's a triangular prism, which means it has triangular bases, one on the top, one on the bottom. We're going to draw right triangles. So I'm going to connect these two together. Again, I like connecting it to the second one. We have to connect the 2 smaller sides here, and the 3 and the 4 have to connect. So I'm going to have this base of 4 with a height here of 3. And then I'm just going to kind of draw a line connecting there. Height of 3, still the base of 4, and connect it on there. And go ahead and cut that out. Okay. So now we have the net for our triangular prism. And again, you can fold this up and see that these will actually connect pretty well. and it would make a triangular prism. So let's go ahead and glue this down. And then we're comparing the sides. So again, I want to highlight all those sides that are congruent. We have a height of 6 here, and all those across are also 6. This is 6, this is 6, this is 6. They are all congruent to each other. We have a base here of 3, which the opposite side of the rectangle is also going to be 3. But then it also connects to the height of the triangle on the bottom and the height of the triangle on the top. We have a base of 4 here, which also is the same as the opposite base over there. And then the last side is this base of 5, which is the same as the opposite there. But then these two actually fold to connect. So this side right here would also connect with this side right here. So now let's look at our comparisons, comparing the bases and the lateral sides. So our bases, that's our top and our bottom. For the rectangular prism, we had 2 rectangular bases. Well, as we said, every single prism always has 2 bases, one on the top, one on the bottom. But this time, since it's a triangular prism, there are triangular bases. And then the lateral sides, the sides going across, this time we don't have 4, we have 3, because triangles have 3 sides. So there's going to be 3 lateral sides, but those sides are still rectangular because all lateral sides of prisms are rectangular. So it has 3 rectangular lateral sides. And that's it. We can compare, we can look at the differences and the similarities. They all have 2 bases, 2 bases, 2 bases. Squares have 4 sides, so it has 4 lateral sides. Rectangles have 4 sides, so it has 4 lateral sides. Triangles have 3 sides, so it has 3 lateral sides.